today I have the pleasure of interviewing the amazing DJ Roxcizzle.
Hey.
Hey. Welcome to Raw Talks TV. I'm your host, Lenore. And here is where the people connect to the story. Y'all don't know. I'm so excited to do this interview with her today because it's just like how we met. Y'all gonna have to wait for that. But we met in a very like divine way, and she's just been a beauty ever since. Like when you meet good people, you know. So I just kind of want to dive in to introduce the audience to who you are. So DJ ROXANNE is from Cape Town,
South Africa.
South
to
Africa.
be exact.
Like how was growing up in South Africa for you?
Growing up in South Africa was awesome. I had a great childhood. I come from a big family, so maybe that's also what helped. But in terms of culture, racially I'm considered colored. So, I mean, in the beginning, that used to be how they kind of segregated people in the apartheid regime. But today I can honestly say that my race or my culture as a colored is actually what has made me into the woman that I am today. It's different races and different cultures really have a huge impact on the way that you are brought up in a society. So South Africa is like, it's always going to be home for me, even though I'm in Los Angeles now. I come from a big family. I'm a family person. I'm a mom. And yeah, I mean, it's bittersweet in a way.
Yeah. I think that it's amazing to be from the actual roots of Africa. I feel like a lot of times I have a lot of conversations with a lot of people, even myself, and it's kind of like sometimes it can be kind of like heartbreaking because when we meet like people from Africa, they always say, "Where are you from?" And I'm
like your roots.
Yeah, I'm like America. They like, no, but where are you from? And I'm just like, I don't know.
That's
I'm in Africa somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, but a lot of people, especially from Chicagoland area, we're really like Black power, anti-African culture. Like it's really like a part of us. So like when we go places, it's like, and we see Africans, we automatically want to know. When I first started having relationships with people from like Nigeria, Ghana, and things like that, it was a little bit of like hesitation because of that perception of Black Americans. And I was just like, man, that's crazy because it's in a way trying to divide us and not be able to communicate, because if y'all come over here with this perception that Black Americans is these horrible people, it hinders us from actually like knowing our roots. You know what I mean? But that was like in the beginning. But then I just started forcing myself on Africans, like, you gonna accept me.
Yes.
I want to know, you know? So I think that's a beautiful thing. I love your accent. It's
Thank you.
Y'all, her accent is
it's different.
Dope. I love it. So I've researched and I've learned that you toured with the Nigerian celebrity Psquare. I also saw that you toured with Omarion. So how was those experiences for you?
Well, I mean, they were awesome experiences. They were fun. It was part of a time in my career where I did quite a few music videos, because those are musicians and, you know, they're constantly putting out new music. They're constantly wanting to create visuals that go with their audio. So working with Psquare, they were actually the first, because they're twins. So they were the first, I would say, mainstream Black superstar musicians that I got to work with. And they were absolutely amazing. They were professional. They were respectful. The idea for their music video was something that I resonated with, because what they wanted to portray was this powerful female that knew what she wanted and wasn't afraid to go out and get it, even though she knew that along the way these guys were interested in something other than just maybe respecting her or honoring her as this powerful female.
Right.
But she plays the game in the music video. So, I mean, we shot that over 1 or 2 days, and that was a great experience working with them. We we connected, not only as creatives, but also as Africans, also as just human beings.
Right.
And I really appreciate the way they are, I would say, down to earth, like humble.
I'm going to interrupt you. What video was that so they can look that up?
So the name of the song is called Collabo.
Collabo.
And that's how it's spelled, COLLABO.
Okay.
Just like that. And it's definitely one of the most viewed music videos that I've been in. Well over 50 million views on YouTube. I was quite surprised at how well it was received. I knew their music before I worked with them, but I guess since doing that song with them, I kind of adopted the nickname Collabo, and that's what a lot of people still call me today. Especially if they just come across my Instagram account, then they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I saw you on Collabo. Finally, I found your account." So it's cool that I still kind of get that recognition from doing that with them. With Omarion, he came to Cape Town. He came to South Africa because he had performances in other cities. What happened was he came to Cape Town kind of by the way, and I guess fell in love with the scenery and the locations and was like, okay, I've got to shoot something. I've got to make the most of this opportunity. So the same producer that had cast me with for Psquare's music video had kind of submitted me or put me forward for this video that Omarion wanted to shoot. And I literally got the call in the morning like, do you want to come through? Do you want to cast for this really quickly? Or actually, I didn't even cast for it. I literally just went to set. Yeah, they just called me and then I went to set and we ended up shooting a video in like one night.
Wow.
It went really quickly. It was almost effortless because they knew what they wanted to capture. I consider myself a professional and I know how to kind of relay the message on camera that the director wants to achieve. And after that experience of working with them, they were like, well, we're going to another city. There's some other songs we want to film videos for. Come along, like be in the others as well. And then that's what happened. We ended up going to another city, doing some cool tourist things like going on safari together, shooting the music video. Like it was a pretty dope experience.
Yeah, I mean, it sound like that saying, "Stay ready so you don't have to get ready."
1000%.
You was ready, and you got to experience all that stuff, and you was just like extremely coachable, but just naturally, organically know how to
navigate and do all that.
That's amazing. That's like a skill. And a lot of time, like, what would you tell somebody who, like, in a waiting preparation phase? Like, what advice would you give somebody who's aspired to be in like a certain magnitude but isn't really there yet?
So I would say so much, but the most important thing is just to work on whatever you know you need to work on. Sometimes we avoid the work that we need to do. Work on that in that downtime and be in that downtime. As much as you are looking forward to the future, you are pushing to get to the next level or get your next big break or your big break. As much as we yearn for that, there's some power that comes from focusing on where you are in the moment, being present, so that you're able to really receive whatever the message is that whatever you're meant to learn in that period is as important as where you're about to be in the next stage.
Yeah, that's beautiful, and that's some great advice.
I say that because that's what I struggled with when I was in that waiting period.
Right. And I think because you went through it, you're able to articulate in a way that is extremely relatable, and you know that it works. You know what I mean?
Definitely works.
It works. And I see that your name is Roxanne KALIE, right? But what made you choose Roxcizzle? DJ Roxcizzle.
That's so funny. So when I was in high school, I still kind of consider myself quite a tomboy. Definitely, I love the feminine, but I also relate to the masculine energy. And I had way more boyfriends than girlfriends.
As I.
Right? So I just feel like they were more accepting of me in those awkward years. But whenever I was with my guy friends, we would always be listening to music. We would always be... Someone would be beatboxing and then we would just be flowing. We would rap. I would write a lot of songs.
Oh, you can rap?
Okay.
Bars, come through.
Oh my God.
Come through with the bars. So when you freestyle, like you write and then?
I used to do both. And that's where I kind of that's where the name got coined, essentially, Roxcizzle. Because that was just from the whole, because hip hop was number one. That's what we listened to. That's what we I guess, spent a lot of time consuming, and that was if we were going to make music, that's the sound we would have wanted to put out. So it kind of stuck with me up until now, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Y'all don't know, like, this woman is crazy. She's like a DJ, an actress, a model, a mom, a wife.
It's a lot when
how
you
do you juggle all of that?
When you name it like that, it seems like that's a lot.
It is. It is a lot.
But when you're doing it, it doesn't seem like that much.
Right.
It just feels like one or another extension of yourself.
Yeah.
And some people will say, stay in your lane or stick to one thing.
Yeah.
And I understand that, I get that, but I also feel like we are so complex.
Yes.
What if we have so many gifts that we want to essentially develop and then share or along the way inspire? I don't feel like it should be shut down. I think that spend some time, develop them, and then give it out, share it with the world.
That's how I feel. Like, coming up in Chicago, and I think other parts of where, I don't know, I can only speak for Chicago. Like, while I was going through undergrad and grad school, like, I've always been athletic. I've always been like this very talented individual. And like, I used to hate when people say, you just need to focus on one thing. And I'm just like, but there's so much, I do so much. And I was a part of so many organizations and so many teams and leadership roles. And it's like, I've always juggled a lot, and it always seems effortlessly. So for someone to tell me, like, do this one thing, it doesn't make sense in my head, you know? But when you talk to other creatives and you talk to other people, especially out here in LA, like, they really be like, oh, what do? I do everything, you know? But it's just the natural response, because depending on who you talking to, that's what you're going to tell them that you do, you know? Because that may, you telling a director that you do like mixing and mastering might not be as relatable or, you know, attractive as saying I'm an actor, you know, when you know that you can act, you know. Totally. So just speaking the language in the opportunity that is presented unto you. So I think that's really relevant. But so we've shared a lot of goodies where I'm going to interview her more in depthly. So if you want the jewels, you're going to have to go to Raw Talks TV with Lenore on podcast. But we're about to play an exercise because she's a DJ, and there's no way we're going to let her skip out of here without, you know, mixing some tunes up, you know. So we'll be right back, guys.